the lowest earners have enjoyed faster wages gain in every economic group, or I mean income group. I'm sorry. The net wealth held by the bottom half of households has grown by 47%, more than 3 times the rate of increase for the top 1% of households.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
What? You just said that real wage growth was higher under Obama.
You didn't just say you didn't. No, you just said net worth. Now you're talking about net worth. I don't think you know what you're
No.
talking about.
Yeah, no. I'm reading you. So this is
Net
what
worth
you
and wage growth are different things, bud. Which one are you
Yes, and
talking about?
real wages surpassed for the bottom 10% than what it did the top 10%.
Yeah, but that's
People in the bottom
wages.
10%, people in the bottom 10% seen a faster wage growth than
Brother,
what they
that's
did under Obama.
wages. Brother, we're talking about wealth inequality, not wages.
Which one do you want to go to? Because now I just told you what the
you
wealth
just
was,
went
and you
to.
said
Well,
now we're
look,
talking about wages.
you're
And then
responding
I
to
gave
me
you the
about
wages, and now you're talking about wealth. We can
you
go
brought
with
up
both.
wages. We were talking about wealth the whole time. You brought up wages. The problem with comparing wage growth is that wage growth only applies to people who have wages, right?
Correct.
Most rich people don't have wages,
Wait,
so they are not
Jeff
factored
Bezos
into
does.
that. So,
Jeff Bezos has a wage.
for example, Elon Musk, since the election, his net worth has doubled. That doesn't. Who else is that happening to?
I think you're switching it up. The real wage growth under Trump, his first term, over the course of his full term, rose by 7.1%, more than Obama and Biden. Real wage growth, which means people, the average American that you claim to care for, right, actually saw an increase in their wages, increase in their overall money that they can then use to buy houses, spend it wherever, whatever the case may be.
And of course,
the real
you're cutting
wages
out 2021, right?
No, including in 2020, from 2017 to 2021, his entire term, not just excluding the pandemic, but his entire term, the average increase overall, they averaged it out was 7.1%. That's including
no, that's
the pandemic.
wrong. Where are they getting that number? Because if you look at Q1 of 2017,
the Financial Times.
Okay, well,
you got the Financial Times. You got a bunch of different. You got the Economist. I'm looking at all these sources. I'm saying.
So I'm looking at U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics.
Yeah, we can go with that as well. So look,
okay, so wait, let me give you the number. Shush.
Hold on, one at a time. Hold on.
Q1 of 2017 is 352. That is the median usual real earnings. 352. When he left office, it was 362. So you're telling me 352 to 362 is a 7% increase? That math isn't mathing.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, if we look here,
do it again. Tell me again. Wait, then do the math.
Absolutely. Here we go.
I'm going to $352 to $362.
Relax.
Is that 7%?
Relax. I'm about to give you an actual.
No, I need you to do math. I don't need you to go to a different graph.
Right? Inflation.
No, I need you to respond to the data. You asked me for data.
I
don't
care about your data.
And now you're on a different website. What are you doing?
No, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Trey, can you answer his question?
Yes, I'm giving him an actual source. He's giving me one source. I'm giving him another, a reputable source, by the way. He's saying that it didn't grow in
This is the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics.
He's saying that it didn't grow to 7.1%. That's not true. As a matter of fact, from this source itself, Obama from 2009 had a negative growth, 0.9 to 0.8 and 48%, or 48 months. Under Donald Trump from 2017, 3.1%, and 48 months to 7.1%. And under Joe Biden in 2021, then 37 months, it was at negative 0.1%. So no, wages were actually adjusted for inflation. Were actually growing faster under Donald Trump than the past 4 or 5 presidents, actually.
I don't know if you know how years work, but in every one of those years, you're showing me the first year of each of their presidencies, which means that the wage growth is because they don't have any of their policies in place. You're showing me the policies from presidents previous. You don't know what you're looking at.
What?
You just showed me the first. You just showed me wage growth from the first year of their presidencies. The first year.
Wages and prices is
That's
from
what you
the
just
Bureau
showed
of
me.
Labor Statistics.
Pull it back
Wages
up.
and
Pull it
average
back up.
hourly
Don't
incomes of production.
pull it back up, please.
Prices
Pull
are
it
the
back up,
CPI.
please. I'll show you. Pull up the chart again. Let's look at this chart again.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're looking at. Can you big screen it, Admir?
Yeah.
Okay. What does it say there on the year for Obama?
On the 37th month, 0.9.
Can't see
Wait,
shit.
hold on. Can you not see that? Hold up. Let me see.
Can't
Okay, so that's what
damn.
he inherited, right?
Here we go.
I can't see it that way. Do it the other
Yeah,
way.
I can't see
You
a
can't see
damn
that?
thing.
All right. Can you see it now?
Yeah, and what's
Yeah,
the
now it's
third
better.
column?
The
What's the
third
third column
column
over there?
is
No, that's the fourth. Oh, there it is.
no. This is the third. So 37, 48, and 96.
Okay,
This is
so
his
you
second
understand that.
term. His second term,
Okay,
which would have been 3.2.
correct. So these are real wages, right? Do you know how real wages are determined?
Yeah. Do you know how
How?
nominal wages are determined?
Wait, how?
Yeah, they're adjusted with inflation.
Okay, so we had average from 73,000 to when he took over 73,000. When he left, it was 82,000, right? Those are real wages. Did those wages keep up with the price of increase for, let's say, housing or healthcare?
Are you asking if this is what this chart is calculating?
No, I'm asking you if the wages kept up with, say, the price of buying a house or the price of healthcare.
Under Barack Obama?
No, under Trump.
Yes.
They did. So you think
Yes.
that
That's
so
why
you
we've
think
seen a
home prices
positive
so you think home prices
7.1.
only went up, so you think home prices went up 7% or less?
Huh?
My God, I don't know how to talk to you.
No.
How much did home prices go up during the Trump presidency?
On average,
Yeah,
I don't know the number off the top of my head.
okay, we can pull it up. The point of this is that if you're looking at the health of the economy, the sector should be growing at the same rate, right? You should have the rich, the middle class, and the poor all growing at the same rate. That's
And they
that's how
were.
you tell what an effective that's it wasn't
It
because
wasn't.
if you
It was
look
the
at
opposite.
if you look at because you're looking at
Look at these
wages and not
qualifiers.
you're looking at yeah, it's called economics. I know that it's frustrating, but if you're going to if you're
You are
no,
just
this is
adding in
called
shit.
economics. If you
Huh?
no, this is economics.
Okay, what's the name of it?
Economics
Says,
is adding in shit. Be quiet,
so
please.
if you want to talk about
If you
economics,
Hold on,
if you
one
have
at a time, one at a
please,
time, please.
please. Wealth inequality is what this discussion was about from the very beginning. The accumulation of wealth. The reason we had high taxes was so that the rich weren't so much richer than the poor that there was a massive gap and it led to people being right where we're at right now, where most people can't afford $1,000 emergency. Most people can't buy a new house. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck. That's not a healthy economy. So if you want to fix the economy, give me a time when we cut taxes for rich people and wealth inequality got better.
So you're more
There
mm,
concerned
isn't
about
one.
whether or not rich people got richer rather than if the middle class actually gained money. Because under Trump, the middle class did gain money. Yeah. Is there
No,
still a wealth
no,
disparity? Okay, cool, whatever.
no,
But
that's
the
not
middle
what I'm
class,
concerned
the
about.
general part, that's literally what you're making the argument. It's like, tell me
It's
when there
no,
wasn't
I
a,
think you don't
you,
understand the argument.
hey,
no, I
RTP,
don't
I
think you
gave you the ability to
understand
talk.
economics
RTP,
the
I
way
gave you
you
the ability to
think you
talk.
do.
Well,
I
then
gave you the ability to talk, right?
then say your
Okay, so I
words.
gave you the ability to talk.
Don't
Okay.
say my
Yeah, then
words
don't
then.
interrupt. Then don't interrupt.
I'm going to interrupt
It's
anytime
easy.
you misquote
Self
me.
control. Self control. It's real easy.
No, I'm
You're a
just going to
grown adult.
interrupt
You can do
Okay,
it.
anytime you
Scott.
misquote me.
Okay, so
You're a
You
grown
Scott, go
adult.
misquote
ahead,
me.
man.
You got this,
Scott,
buddy.
go ahead.
So if your concern is the wealth disparity, right, that the rich are getting
Inequality.
richer, okay, inequality,
Yeah,
that's your main concern, right?
correct.
What it's sounding like is you don't care that as a matter of fact that we can objectively prove that under Trump's first presidency, the middle class actually gained real wages, gained wealth, right? That they actually prospered,
No,
and you're still not cool with
they
that
didn't
because
gain
rich
wealth.
people got richer. And that rich people got
No, they
richer.
didn't
Like
gain.
that's your only
No, they
concern.
didn't
Like
gain.
it's so absurd. Like you
No,
don't even care about the middle class. You're like, well, rich people got richer. I don't care that
no,
the middle class made more money, but richer got richer. So
no,
bad policy, bad economy. Like
no,
that's crazy.
no. All right, let me help
That's
you with
literally
this.
what you just
There is a
said.
diff. No, no, no.
He
Shh,
doesn't
shh,
know
shh,
what
shh,
he's
shh.
talking about.
There is a different. No, you guys don't. This is crazy. I'll try and explain one more time. Your wages can be going up while your wealth inequality goes up too. Your wages can go up and you can afford less. If prices go up faster than your wages go up, then it doesn't really fucking matter. So that's why I said
That
I
would
care
be
about
negative
wealth.
growth,
That's why
RTP. That's why you're wrong.
that's
You
what
have
that
no
would
idea
now you're
what you're
talking about
talking
GDP.
about.
Stay out of this. You have
Hold
no
Has
on, hold
nothing
on,
understanding
hold
of
on.
this.
One at a
talking
time.
about.
Please don't
So
interrupt.
I have a
Let's.
problem with wealth inequality. And wealth inequality, as you can see, the bigger difference you have in the rich to the middle class, the bigger uptick you see in crime, the bigger uptick you see in homelessness, the bigger uptick you see in people dying. And what do we know over the last 10 years? Life expectancy, as wealth inequality has been blown the fuck up, life expectancy is dropping, crime was increasing, you have homelessness increasing. All of these key indicators that we've learned from not just our economy but every economy throughout the history of the world
Thank you.
is that when wealth inequality is exasperated like it is now, the poor die. Not get poorer, they die, and they're dying right now.
You didn't even know the difference between real wages and nominal wages.
Yes, I did, dummy.
No, you
I explained
didn't.
it twice.
No, you
I
no,
did.
you didn't. You
I
just said that.
did. I
Okay,
explained
so
it twice.
if prices are raising higher than what wages are, that means it would be negative. But we actually seen a positive under Donald
No, it
Trump.
wouldn't.
Significant. Can I finish?
No.
We've seen a significant positive under Donald Trump. You can't prove that wrong. And I just gave you the timesheet from the time he came into the office to the time he left. I can give you another source. Real household wealth. Real household wealth. Real household wealth, as you keep saying, has increased by nearly 12 trillion since the start of 2017.
Why?
The
Why?
president's
Wait, why? Wait, why? You're there.
because of the
Why?
TCJA. Let me finish.
No,
The president's
because
historic
house prices
efforts
went
to
up.
cut
No, it's
costly
because house
regulations are
prices went
projected
up.
to increase
Google it.
household incomes by
Google it.
3,100 a year. The
Google
domestic
right now.
energy
Yeah.
boom is
Okay,
resulting
hold
in
on,
real
one at a
savings for
time.
families. The shale energy revolution saves American families an average of 2,500 a year. The president is expanding affordable health care for
How
child
much more
options
reading
and
do we
families.
need here? Okay. What's 90% of Americans, their net worth is made up of what?
I didn't hear you. I got cut off.
What constitutes most Americans' net worth? What's the biggest portion of their net worth? Oh, we're quiet, real quiet now. I'm the dumb one, but what's
Oh, I
what's
thought.
okay? Yeah, go
I
Google
know
it.
what. I didn't know what happened, bro.
I keep
Yeah,
doing a
I'm
phone
like, what
call.
the hell?
what
Did it
is
cut
it?
out?
What is it, Kalel? Because you've been calling me
What'd you
dumb.
say?
What's the number
Thank you.
one? Most Americans, their net worth. Most of their net worth is what?
What do you mean
Is
most of their net?
what asset? What
There's a
asset?
bunch of things that can calculate your net worth: your vehicles,
No, it's their
investments,
home. All
stocks,
right,
bonds,
you don't
personal
know. So it's their
property.
home. No, it's their home.
There's
There's
a
only one
bunch of
answer,
things,
Kalel. There's
RTP.
one.
There's a bunch of things. If you had let me finish, I just listed off a plethora of different things.
No, I said
Your car, your
no. I
investments,
didn't
your
ask you.
homes and other real estates, personal property, stocks and bonds, and cash in your investments, and in your savings.
Yeah, but that's not my question, dummy. Try and keep up.
I
My
know, that's what I'm
question
saying.
was,
You
what
don't understand what's
constitutes
being said to you. That's the problem. You have no idea what's being said. That's why you keep
No.
pivoting from one
I
thing to
asked you a
another.
question,
And every single one of those things have been
Kalel.
debunked.
Kalel, what the question I asked is, what makes up most Americans' net worth? So the average American, almost their entire net worth is their house. That's why Americans' net worth skyrocketed, because what else skyrocketed during that time? The price of housing. But they can't afford to sell their house and access that net worth because the replacement cost is more or equal. So even though your net worth goes up, you don't really have any mobility. That's the point. But for somebody like Elon Musk, who has $500 billion, that's significant. He doesn't even have to pay taxes. He just has to he can take out loan after loan after loan, and significant. He doesn't even have to pay taxes. He just has to he can take out loan after loan after he can take out loan after loan after loan, and he can use his stock as collateral against those loans. And as long as his stock, what?
Can you take out a
My
loan on
God.
your home?
Oh my God.
No,
Oh my
you said that
God.
Elon Musk can do that.
Points
Can you
don't
no
stand
stop
that
unicorn?
if
No,
the
no,
middle
no,
class's
stop
wealth increased,
talking.
it was
Stop
due to
talking.
No,
RTP,
I
can you
can.
take out a loan on your
class's
home?
wealth increases, it's due to housing prices.
I
RTP,
need
can you
you
take
to.
out a loan on your home? Yes or no?
Well, we're gonna have to qualify that answer. Do you mind?
No. Can you or can
Okay,
you not
then
take out a loan on your home?
this doesn't make sense for what
It
I'm
doesn't
saying.
make sense. So can you take out a HELOC on your home?
Hold on.
Can you
What was
borrow
my? Do
against
you
your
know what
home's
my claim
equity?
was,
No,
Kalel? Do
RT,
you know what my?
yes, I know what you're claiming.
What's my
Can you
claim? Repeat
borrow?
it to me. Repeat it to
Can
me.
you borrow against your
Repeat the
home's
claim to me
equity?
out. To Kalel, I said that Elon Musk can use his stock
No
to
shit,
go.
RTP.
So
And I just
listen,
sat here and
listen,
you said
listen,
most of
listen,
people's wealth,
listen.
most of
All
people's
right,
wealth
hold on,
came
whoa, whoa,
from
whoa,
their
whoa,
real
hold
estate
on a
assets.
second. Ah,
Who the fuck?
hold
Which
on a
one of your
second.
moderators is muting me?
Yeah, I'll address that. Don't mute nobody.
Well, no
Don't
offense,
mute nobody.
Admir, no
All
offense,
right,
but
let me
RTP
try and
won't let
explain
anybody
it one
talk
more time.
without even
Hold on,
If
Jay.
I take out,
Jay, hold on, just real quick. If we're gonna do this one at a time, talk, no interruptions. I don't care if you're Kel, I don't care if you're RTP, I don't care who the fuck you are. Let the man finish, then you answer a fucking question, please and thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you. So again, can you borrow against your home's equity? Go ahead and Google it. I gave you more
yes,
than enough time to. Okay, so
yes,
cool. So people can do the same exact thing that Elon
no,
Musk and then we're doing. No,
no,
wait. You
no,
just said that the reason that people's equity or the reason that people's number one wealth went up is because home prices went up. So if your home
correct,
price went up, you should be able to borrow against your home's equity, and you are allowed to borrow against your home's equity. Yes or
correct,
no, RTP?
yes,
Okay, so you what you just said is BS.
no.
What? You
Yes,
just
this is
said
why I
that
was
he could
trying to
borrow
explain it
against
to you.
stocks.
Let me know
Wait,
when you're done, and
your
I'll
number
explain it
one,
again.
the number one thing that most people will have in their lifetime is their home. The most expensive thing is their home. What you
Correct,
can do and what you ought to do is borrow the equity against your home. Why? Because you can either go out and have investments in said property, you can invest it in stocks, or however you want to do that. But you just sat here and you made the claim. You said that people's houses skyrocketed, and that's why
correct,
wealth went up, which is a positive in
cor-
my eyes. I think anybody on this
correct.
panel, if you're a homeowner, would agree. If my house price went up, that's a definite positive for me. If your home price is going up and you can borrow against your home equity, what do you mean they can't do the same things then?
All right. Well, we could have saved a lot of time, and I could have just explained this again. Elon Musk can take out a loan against stock. And the loan that he takes out at stock, because he has so much money, the APR on that loan is going to be most likely less than 1%. And a lot of these banks will give him an interest-free loan. If I take out a HELOC, and I'm going with today's rates, for example, the rate on that HELOC is going to be somewhere between like 6 and 7%. When I purchased my home, my mortgage was about 3.5%. So if I take out a HELOC, in order for me to be able to do what Elon Musk does, I would take out that home equity line of credit and I would live off of that money, right? That's what he does. He takes out these loans and he lives off of that money. But that it's not likely that I'm going to be able to make up that 7% APR with the value of my home. And if I go back to the bank after taking out that line of credit and tell the bank, hey, let's do it again, the bank's going to tell me no. The problem with Elon is he gets to live tax free by using the stocks that he has for purchasing power. That's how he bought Twitter. He bought it with $0 out of his own pocket because he just leverages the stock. And he has so much stock and so much money that he also has leverage over the banks. So the banks will give him a 0%
Yeah.
interest loan all day long, and then he gets to avoid paying taxes. I can't do that. You can't do that. There's not a single person on this app that can do that because we don't have that level of stocks and net worth to get a bank to give us a 0% $20 million APR loan.
Yeah, can't argue that one.
crickets.
Yeah, I can't
Or
argue that one because
you can
it's
just do something to I don't know, obtain the ability to have that level to where you can use that. I mean, nothing's
Yeah, like
stopping
we
you,
could all be
correct?
cucks. That's fine. Or we could have a good system.
See,
You're just
so
like,
that's a
yeah, the system
that's a
sucks,
good
so fuck
transition.
it.
It's a good transition.
Or
That's
it
nice. So yeah, so
equivalates to you're
you could
economically ignorant because I can get a 0% interest loan, and I have no
How?
issue doing that.
How do you get a 0%
I've done it
$100
on
million no interest loan?
I've done it on only 3 vehicles, but also a rental property. So you want to try again?
The
100
bank
million?
gave you 0% on a
Wait,
$100
hold on.
million
But that's the
loan?
thing. Y'all are trying to say 100 million.
Yeah,
Why does it have
Elon
to be
does
just
that all the
100 million?
time.
But I'm quite sure Elon is more financially responsible than you are, and Chris,
No,
who's up here riding
he's,
you.
he's actually way less financially responsible than you. He's
Wait,
bankrupted
you raise your
multiple
hand if you're a
companies.
billion. Wait,
education too, Cal.
raise your
You've been
hand
up
if
here
you're a
selling the
billionaire
dumb
up
for a
here.
while.
That's not fiscal
Put your hand
responsibility.
down if you're not a
That's
billionaire.
monetary
Okay, I
accumulation.
didn't
There's a
think
difference
so.
between
Wait,
fiscal.
raise your
Look,
hand
I
if
know.
you.
Look, you just
Wait,
worship
raise your
money.
hand if you have $1 billion company.
Yeah, if I started out with like $500 million, I guarantee
okay.
I could turn it into $2 billion. Like that's
No, you
not
couldn't. I
impossible.
guarantee that you're financially irresponsible too, which is why you're in the predicament that you're in.
Well, how about me? I'm financially responsible. How
Are
about
you a
me?
millionaire? Wait, are you a millionaire?
My net worth's over $1 million. Yes.
So what are you complaining about? Wait,
I'm
who's
not
stopping you?
because
Wait. Okay,
I
cool.
just want a
You're a
good
million. Okay,
system.
your net worth is over $1 million. What's stopping you from paying more in taxes, RTP?
Well, the net worth again is my house.
No. What's stopping you from paying more in taxes? You care so much about the little man. What's stopping you from paying more in taxes?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So?
Crickets. Chris, crickets.
I said nothing. I said the word.
Exactly. So if you're so worried about it, why don't you get off your ass and go do something
Because
about
listen,
it?
dude, this isn't really about. It's not about like I want. In fact, if everybody paid like if billionaires paid 1% in taxes, but we didn't have people dying. And people without health care and people who can't go see a doctor, I wouldn't care. I want people to have as much. I want to have people have as much money as they possibly can. But if people have to work 3 jobs to survive, and Elon Musk can like stop running his companies to go do a fake audit and still make billions of dollars, then I think it's just a good sign that our system is broken. It's not a good system. People die of starvation in the wealthiest country in the world, and then you get up here and you're like, "Well, I guess you should have been a billionaire."
I'm glad you said that. Wait,
Thanks.
fact or fiction? Was it Donald Trump that sat there and told Hillary Clinton, "It's you that makes these laws, and me and her donors are the ones that actually use these laws"?
I loved it when he said that. I loved it when he said that.
Oh, thank you. So when he went into office, he made a lot of adjustments to the TCJA. No. The SALT Deduction Act, where you can only deduct a certain amount, cutting taxes for lower class, middle class, and upper class, and the lower class and middle class actually seeing the most benefits from that. I think I just read off numerous.
One at a time.
7 million jobs created nationwide, 500,000 manufacturing jobs created
Are you reading
nationwide.
off a list?
Low employment. Yes, absolutely. This is actually from UC Berkeley.
And then we went into a recession. You going to talk about that or no?
Oh, because of COVID?
Yeah.
Actually, the recession was way before COVID. It was in like January
because of
February.
COVID. Wait, RTP. Did we recover faster under Donald Trump or under Biden?
We didn't have recover from what?
Oh, we were recovered under Joe Biden, significantly faster under Joe Biden.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, Joe Biden took over in the middle of a pandemic.
You know what's funny? We recovered faster under Obama 2 years than what we did under Joe Biden 3 years.
What? That's not funny.
Right?
Different situation.
Wait, are you kidding me?
Hey,
wait, what?
All right,
When COVID happened,
are you trying to compare?
In April, what was the unemployment rate, LTP?
What was that? Sorry, what'd you say?
Yeah, in COVID, during April, what was the unemployment rate? Do you remember?
What year, bud?
When COVID happened, C-19.
Do you think COVID was 1 year?
That's not what I asked you.
You said in April.
Happened, what was the April? Do you remember what the rate? Do you remember what the number is? I'm not. This isn't a gotcha. Do you know what it was?
Brother, April comes around every year. I need to know what year you're talking about.
When did COVID happen? Are we kidding me?
2020, 2021, 2022. COVID was happening 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025.
Donald Trump what year? The highest unemployment during COVID.
You mean lowest? You mean lowest?
No, highest.
No,
when COVID happened, he had the highest. It was 14.8. You don't know, obviously. What was it when he left?
What? Wait, what?
In April, the unemployment numbers was at 14.8%.
Of what year?
In what?
We're asking you to clarify.
COVID. That's when everybody lost their
COVID's
job.
not a year.
2020 maybe?
What the fuck are they not hearing? That's what I just said like 5 times.
Wait, what are you asking? I don't know what you're asking here.
Cool. In 2020, I asked you, do you remember in April what the COVID numbers, what the unemployment rate was? It was 14.8, 14.6%.
Yeah.
What was the unemployment rate when he left office?
Like 6.5 or something like that.
Okay, so what was the unemployment rate when Joe Biden just left?
4.
4 or 5 or some
1.
shit like that.
4.1.
So we recovered faster under Donald Trump, who had the worst parts of COVID, than what we did under Joe Biden, especially when they're doing a bunch of revisions over every single year that he was in office.
Wait, that's not true.
So,
that's
Corey,
like blatantly false.
Corey,
Come on,
Corey,
one at a
Corey, hold
time,
on.
please.
Corey, let me finish, then I'll get out of here. Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know why we're even bringing this up. So I'd love to go back to net worth, but this
We
is
could definitely go
when
back
when
to
you're looking at this COVID unemployment rate, that's just lockdowns, and then people stopped locking down, and that's why the unemployment rate changed. Had nothing to do with policy. Everybody knows that. You're just trying to score cheap points. But the main point is that the biggest transfer of wealth that has ever happened in our country happened during COVID. And that happens because our system is designed to funnel money up, not trickle down. And that's why we saw when everybody in our country, almost universally, everybody in our country got poorer, the rich got significantly richer. That's just the sign of a bad system. And you can sit up there and be like, oh, well, they're rich and they deserved it. And you can cuck for capitalism all you want. That's fine. But the reality is it's not good for America. It's left us in a place where you can now buy a vice president. You can now buy your own committee to investigate all of your opponents. And we're at a place now where we're actually doing fascism. And you guys are like, well, unemployment rate during COVID. Like, reality doesn't exist to you folks. And that's
you just
great.
said that it
And
was
you
a
should keep,
recession.
and you should, yes. And if you go back to 2019, you'll see economists warning of a coming recession before COVID ever hit, because we were flatlining, because we cut taxes while we increased spending, which you only do if you're a fiscal moron or a corrupt Republican, which good for you. You had both in Donald Trump, a guy who doesn't understand basic economics, who doesn't even understand how a tariff works. And he was handing out gifts to his I know you're upset right now, but and he's handing out gifts to his billionaire friends. And if you look at wealth inequality, it skyrocketed.
Yeah, we went into a recession before C19, so I don't know why people say C19 caused it, but it was before.
You're the one. You have no idea what you're talking about. RTP, who spent more, Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
Joe Biden, because of who increased deficit spending more?
Who had a higher deficit?
Well, every president has the highest
deficit.
Who
had a higher deficit? Joe Biden.
Every president who had the highest? Biden. Who had the highest before that? Trump. Who had the highest before that? Obama. Who had the highest before that? Bush. Who had the highest before that? Clinton. It goes in order. Obama. Hold on. Almost done.
You're loud and wrong.
Obama and Biden reduced deficit spending. They still had deficit spending every year, but
it increased every year.
Listen. I know. I was including that in the answer. And it increased every year, but the amount it increases under Democrats is less. It increases more under Republicans. If you look at this, you can look at the increase in deficit spending between Obama, Trump, and Biden. And Biden had 2 bailouts that he had to pay for, and he still reduced deficit spending better than Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a crook. He sold the country to billionaires, and you guys are too goddamn dumb to admit it. You won't admit it. We literally have an all-billionaire cabinet. They're just like, we're taking Palestine now. Fuck it, let's buy Greenland. We have so much money, let's buy Greenland. Elon, here's the keys to the goddamn treasury, and you're sitting back there like, oh, we could all be like Elon someday. No, you guys are cucks to like a handful of billionaires.
Good emotional argument. That was classy.
RTP.
I feel like it's like a video game, like The Sims, and they don't understand. Like, this is real life. Like, it's like a football game. They just want to win. They don't understand. Like, none of this matters when we look at the average conditions of the everyday American. The material conditions, they're not better under Donald Trump. They get worse.
They were under Donald Trump.
Cutting off food stamps and Medicaid.
They were under Donald. Yeah, wait. Somebody give me a source. I have yet to see anything from RTP. Just emotional yelling like a child.
You can look up all
RTP.
that.
This is all backed up. But RTP. First of all, it's President Musk.
That's President Musk. That's right. What do you want a source on, Kalel?
Anything that you said. You said that the stuff was not better under Donald Trump.
No, I never said that, because that would be a moronic general.
You said that wealth was worse under Donald Trump than what it was under Joe Biden.
Wealth inequality, dumbass. Wealth inequality.
He said wealth inequality.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry you're not following this, but like
either way, wealth went up around across the board for everybody.
Wealth inequality.
What are we talking about?
Inequality means?
Again, wealth went up, whether it was for the upper class, middle class, or lower class. Yes, wealth
Talking about fifth
significantly
grade.
went up for the upper class, but why is that?
Because when wealth
What is it
inequality,
that the wealthy know, RTP? What is it that the wealthy do that the lower class and middle class don't do?
they have money.
No, that's
And
not
when
what I
you get
asked you.
and once you get money,
why?
it's easier to
Stupid.
accumulate money.
Stupid. What is it that the rich do that the lower class and middle class don't do?
They have money.
No, stupid. They
It-
buy
it-
investments.
Because they
It's an
have
argument.
money.
What?
So
They
he-
buy
he-
investments.
With what? What do they invest with?
it's a
Christ.
pivot from the argument that Trump actually helped people out. And he doesn't want to admit to it, so he just has to revert back to the wealth inequality. Even though people in the middle class and lower class actually got more money and actually did better off economically,
And
you
why
can't
wealth
admit that because
inequality
you're
go
like
up?
you're emotionally
why did
attached
wealth
to hating
inequality
Trump
go
so
up?
much. And see, that's the thing.
No,
You
it
only
has
focus on
nothing to do
the
with
you
that,
don't
brother.
care about the middle class. You don't care that the fact that they actually got better.
Yes, I do.
You don't care. You don't.
Yes, I do. Because listen,
you can't even
the
admit
number one
that it
reason,
happened under
the
Trump.
number
You can't
one
admit it.
reason that the people in the
Thank
middle
you.
class go bankrupt is because of medical debt. I want
Now you're
universal
just
health care. I
transitioning
want
into
people
some other
to not
shit.
go. I don't want people to go bankrupt for medical debt. I think
Now
that
we're
if you want to
pivoting.
be a janitor and you don't want to be a cuck to capitalism,
Arbitrary shit.
you
It
should
has
be able
nothing to
to
do with the
work
argument.
40 hours
Hell
a
You're
week
yeah.
emotional.
as a
It's
janitor
Hold on,
fair.
hold
and
on,
Emotional.
hold
raise
on.
a
One at a
family.
time.
I think that if you want to be a teacher, you shouldn't have to marry somebody rich just so that you can teach children. I think you should be able to go to work, teach the America's children, and then come home and have a house and take vacations and be able to invest. But the reality is, for most Americans, while you sit here and jack off Donald Trump, the reality is nobody has any money to invest because the price of living has gone so far up that 60% of Americans have no additional disposable income. So when you say, why does wealth inequality go up? Because they have income that they can invest, and most of Americans don't. And that is a sure sign that our system isn't working. And you guys are like, maybe if we just keep doing tax cuts, eventually the rich people are going to trickle that money back down. We have two options with money. It goes into our economy and it circulates, and that's what it's supposed to do. And if the people at the top don't circulate the money, we have to print more money. And if we print more money, that devalues the money, and then we run into the same problem. And then Republicans are like, well, let's cut taxes for rich people, and then we'll get more money. And then we cut taxes for rich people, and wealth inequality gets worse. Every single time we cut taxes, wealth inequality gets worse. And you guys just keep banging your head against the wall, thinking one of these times this shit's finally going to work. One of these times the tax cut is going to fix wealth inequality. And it doesn't.
How does supply
That's why
side
every other
economics work?
country in the
RTP?
world
Hold
is
on.
doing
Jay,
better
let
than
me ask
us,
you then.
and we're struggling.
Yeah, but Jay, let me ask you then. But if by your count, then who printed most money in our history?
Biden was a shitty president.
Say what?
Biden did,
Say it
and he
again?
was a shitty president.
Oh,
Thank you.
Like, he was like,
But you
the
wanted
thing
him to
about
get
Biden
reelected,
is
though.
Biden would
But you wanted him to get
pretend
reelected.
like Biden would say things like "I'm for the middle class,"
Sorry,
and then
wait.
he didn't do
Host.
anything for the middle class.
See how we don't worship politicians?
Host, you understand that like Democrats are willing to critique our own politicians too, right? We're not like
hold on,
fucking
Corey. I don't think you've
cultists.
ever spoken to me because I
RTP says
criticize Trump all
Biden
the
was the
time.
worst.
Thank you.
We ain't on our knees.
RTP
throwing
says
these
Biden was the
motherfuckers.
worst, and he wants him to get reelected in the in the last election
No.
cycle.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
fucking hysterical.
Corey, I don't think
Who's
you and I.
He didn't
who's
say
gonna
he's the
tell-
worst. He said
Who's
he's
going to
a
tell
shitty
these guys
president.
Biden
Let's be
wasn't
clear
running?
about
Who's going to
this.
tell them? It was Kamala Harris.
When when
Yeah,
Biden
it's
was
almost
running,
like
did you want him to get
Biden
reelected?
dropped out of the
RTP, no,
race.
hold on. RTP, when Biden was running, did you want him to get reelected?
Over
Between him
Trump,
and
yeah,
Trump?
but I wanted him to
Over
step
Donald
Oh,
down.
okay, yeah. Although he was
Absolutely.
objectively worse. Okay, it makes
Over
sense.
over
Donald
Donald
Trump.
Trump.
Objectively worse, but
He
you
wasn't-
wanted
it's
him
Scott
to
talking.
one at a
That's
time.
false.
Scott,
He was
that
That's
wasn't
false.
objectively
his
Biden
better.
was not
thing.
worse than Trump. That's the whole point.
Bro, you have
Biden was
no
a
idea
bad
what
Cape
you're
for
candidate.
talking
Biden
He
all
was
you
better
want.
than
Cape
Donald
for Biden all
Trump.
you want. I get cape for him. That's
Wait,
fine.
raise your
Go ahead.
hand.
No, it's
How
just
does
the truth,
supply
man.
side
I'm sorry, but
economics-
like
okay, fine,
by
Corey.
any metric,
Okay, Corey.
Biden was
Okay,
a more
Corey.
qualified
I
president
know
than
RTP
Donald Trump, and
doesn't
he had
know.
better policy.
I know
You don't want to
RTP
go that
doesn't-
qualification route. You don't want to do that.
Tell me how side supply economics works.
I will happily go the qualification route. I will happily do so.
Okay, how does side supply or supply side economics
What, like
work?
trickle down economics? We give tax.
Corey, how does that work?
Who's
Hold
muted?
on, Trey. Nobody mute anybody.
It's just it's the idea that like growth is like growth happens if you increase the supply of goods and services.
Cool. So it wasn't just trickle down when you have reduced regulation, when you have taxes being cut, not just for the upper class, because that's what Reagan did. He did a bunch of deficit spending by borrowing a bunch of money and then increasing our defense spending and things like that. Okay, Donald Trump didn't just cut it for lower class, but he also cut it for the upper class as well, and businesses and corporations as well. Then he reduced regulations. He cut the costs.
Increased
So
spending.
why could
And
people?
you sat
So
here
why
and
do
you said
people have
in
less?
3 years, if COVID didn't happen, in 3 years, his numbers are not only just better than Barack Obama's, but they're better than Joe Biden's. And a lot
Right.
of the numbers that people
No,
are reading
they're not
from
better than
your
Barack
side,
Obama's. That's
a lot
false.
of the numbers that the
That's
people
actually
from your
false.
side are
Hold
reading
on.
aren't completely accurate,
Hold on.
especially
Kalel,
when there's
so
numbers that
one
aren't
at a-
adjusted
Kalel,
for
let me ask you a
inflation
question
either.
then. Let me ask you a question because you can look at things like GDP, you can look at things like employment, you can look at things like real wages, but the reality is that during both Trump and Biden, the percentage of Americans who could afford a $500 emergency expense went down. People have less money. Like they might bring in more money, but what's left over is less, and that's getting worse. It's not, and it's been getting worse all through Trump's presidency, even during the good times. It got worse during Biden's presidency, where we lived under the Tax Cut and Jobs Act for that entire presidency. It's gotten worse. We
Actually,
argue
that
about
price
these.
spike
We
happened
argue
during
about
the
these.
Obama
We
administration.
argue about these numbers like people are doing well, but the average American can't afford an emergency. So I don't understand why we have to beg and plead for not just MAGA Republicans, but people like Joe Biden. Why we have to go to them and say, why are you talking about the stock market? Can we talk about how the average American can't afford shit? And no, because they don't want to talk about it. And you guys are up here talking about supply side economics. You're talking about real wage growth. But what you're not talking about, what you've avoided every time we bring up, is the fact that now we're close to 60% of America cannot afford an emergency. That is horrific. We are supposed to be the best country in the world. We're dog shit at this because we worship rich people. We think rich people are the smartest and the best, and we just do whatever they say, and they just want more money.
Well, congratulations.
But,
You hate every single politician. Then you hate every single presidential candidate. Like by your own standards, you literally don't like anybody.
No.
So I don't know what you're arguing for.
Most
Wait,
politicians
I'm sorry.
aren't rich.
How is that? How
Like,
is that
I
a
really
W?
don't understand
Yeah,
your
most
point.
politicians
Come
Come
fucking
on,
suck,
what's the
man.
difference? There's like $1 billion difference between being a millionaire and a billionaire. We're talking about people that have so much fucking wealth you can't even fathom it.
Wait, real quick though. You know why?
Congratulations. You can.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
and
understand the issue of someone being a billionaire.
here's why most politicians are rich. Most politicians are rich for the same reasons. Number one, they get a pretty decent salary. If you're in Congress, I think it's like 178,000. Senate's like 220. Not only do you have that, but you also have a per diem, and your clothes are paid for, your travel is paid for. You can use donor money to fly everywhere. You can go on vacations using donor money because we can't get anybody to take money out of politics. And then you also have insider information in which you get to trade on because we won't do anything to stop politicians from investing in stocks. And then because you've been in Congress, you can write a book and somebody can ghost write that book for you. And then a PAC can pay you $20 million up front. It's not a bribe because it's just dark money. And then you get all this money for your book sales. And then you go back into reality. And the whole time you've also had healthcare that's paid for. And the rest of your life you have healthcare that's paid for. And we won't give everyday Americans paid for healthcare, but we'll give it to our politicians. I agree with you. Politicians shouldn't get better stuff than we get. But the reason they get better stuff than we get is because a bunch of moderate Democrats and all of the GOP refuse to take money out of politics and refuse to provide their citizens with the ability to live, to go see a doctor so they can do cancer screenings, so they can figure out if they have heart disease, so that they can figure out if they have allergies that might kill them. And every time we talk about this, Republicans are like, don't tax us more. Our billionaires might have a few
Democrats
less
haven't done it
dollars.
either. So again,
I know that's
your
what I just
point
said.
is just stupid.
Moderate Democrats, and all Republicans are standing in the way
So,
of
hold on.
American people for having good things. I agree with you. It's not just Republicans, but it is all Republicans.
But Jay, explain something to me. I got two questions. And I'm not disagreeing with anything that you says, but how does somebody go in and you look at their net worth prior for them going in is, let's just say, 250,000 after they come out after 8-12 years? You say their net worth is like 150 million. How does that happen?
Supreme Court, I just want to let you know the Supreme Court, Trump's Supreme Court just ruled that kickbacks are allowed, Snyder v. USA. So they're allowed to get kickbacks now.
Oh,
So
well, there
look,
goes that.
I don't think that the average person is 150 million. I think you can look at people individually. Like Elon this week tweeted out that what's her name? Elizabeth Warren was worth 20 million. How did she do that? So I went and I fact checked it. She's worth about 8 million. She was a professor at Harvard before she went into Congress, and she went into Congress specifically to protect people after the 2008 financial crisis. She said all the banks got the bailouts and the people should have got the bailouts. So she started this program. She ran on starting a program, won her Senate seat. The program got put into place to protect us, the consumers, if something like this happens again. That was called the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the thing that Elon just shut down. And she went in as a professor from Harvard, and she bought a house in like 1990 that was worth 450 grand. It's worth almost 5 million now. So most of her net worth too is a house that she's had forever, and then she wrote a book. Most politicians have a net worth around like most senators. You'll see a net worth between like 5 and 15 million, and that's explainable. But I do agree. Like if you see somebody go in with like Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's a fucking idiot, and she went in with no money, and now she's a multi millionaire. It's more alarming when somebody dumb gets in there, and you're like, how did you wind up with all this money in 4 years? But again, if you talk to Elizabeth Warren, you talk to Bernie Sanders, you talk to AOC, the people that you guys call far left, those are the people saying take money out of politics and give people health care. And then they're called communists for that.
Lies detected.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I wish I could.
I mean, do you think somebody that has a job for 10, 15, 20 years shouldn't have an increase in their wealth?
And that's
for real.
As a public servant, in the terms of public service, no, not in the millions. No, absolutely not. You're not there to make money. As a public servant, you're not there to fucking make money. The idea that anyone in a public service capacity suddenly comes in with millions of dollars out of their service, no, definitely not. Because you can work a good paying job.
Wait, so Scott,
and not
so you
make
should,
that kind of money.
so Scott, you should hate like Donald Trump and Elon Musk in office.
Don't divide it now, Corey. No, Corey, we're finding common ground. Don't divide it now. Like
fair enough.
I'll shut up. Josh Hawley just co-sponsored a bill. Like weirdly, Josh Hawley has like been kind of I couldn't stand that guy for a long time, and lately he's been saying some things that make sense. Like Josh Hawley's one of the few Republicans right now that is standing up for the middle class. And Josh Hawley, he's introducing bills to get rid of. He supported bills, I guess, to get rid of trading. He's supported bills specifically about like closing loopholes for the 1%, like getting rid of like private jet loopholes. If you want to talk about the people who are fighting for the American people, it's like 12. It's like 12 of them. Most of them are far left Democrats. Occasionally, you'll have like Josh Hawley, Matt Gaetz co-sponsored a bill with AOC. Every once in a while, Rand Paul will come in as well. But the truth is, most of the people in Congress are just doing the bidding for rich people. And we have to look at this administration and say, who are they working for? It's all billionaires. You think all these billionaires are going to get into office and suddenly care about us? Or are they going to do what's best for them? They're going to do what's best for them.
Cool. So with the TCJ, when you're reducing people from actually taking off, what was it? So now the SALT Deduction Act, you can't just deduct however much you want. It's a limit to that. That's working for the American people. When you're cutting the taxes for the lower class and middle class as well, just not the upper class.
Don't let nobody else up.
Can I finish? I love how none of you come off of mute when he talks.
Okay, go ahead, Trey.
Yes, so when we're talking about reducing taxes, cutting the burden, and reducing all this the pressures on the lower class and middle class, Donald Trump has in fact done that. Whether you like it or not, the facts are on our side before they are on your side.
But wealth inequality went up, so I don't care.
That's all you have. Okay, well, nobody said that.
That's not true. The stats don't back up.
Yeah, they actually do.
I want to say that.
Hold on. Kella, here's the thing, right?
When you were talking about
why do y'all keep talking?
It put a cap on deduction.
Why are you talking?
So there's a cap.
Why are you talking? Why are you talking?
Hold on,
why is it that nobody can manage to not come off of mute when we are talking, but y'all all are coming, but y'all all stay silent when he talks?
Okay, go, Trey, go.
Better, Mike.
Yes. So wealth inequality. No. Wealth in general, wages went up, The cost of living was cheaper. People's houses went up as well. You made a claim earlier, and that was debunked just based off of your claim that Elon Musk can borrow against his stocks. Okay, cool. People can also borrow against their homes. You made the claim that their
Not at
houses
0%.
went up significantly.
Not at
Their
0%.
houses went up significantly. Okay, and under Donald Trump,
I know, dude, but you can't. It doesn't work the same way. Like if I don't take out a
interest rate.
No, you can't negotiate your interest rate with the bank.
What?
You can't get a 0% HELOC.
That's not what I asked you. Can you negotiate your interest rate
for a HELOC?
Yes.
No.
What? Okay. Are you sure you have $1 million net worth?
Brother, I worked in real estate forever. Do you know what a HELOC is?
Yeah, I'm in real estate actually, and I was alone.
Okay, how do you negotiate? How do you negotiate your rate?
Well, you can negotiate it through many things, but you can also give them a call, right? And when you're giving them a call, it really depends on your credit history and your credit score and how much you have in equity.
What else does it rely on?
Your HELOC?
Yeah. Current rates, right?
Current rates is another thing, yeah.
Okay. Well, see, for me to take out a HELOC, it would be at a higher rate than my current rate for my mortgage. But again, if I take out $100,000 HELOC, and let's say I get it at 6.5%, right? And I take that $100,000. If I don't make if I don't make 6.5% off my investment, then I don't get my money back. But what Elon gets to do is take 100 million at 0%, zero. And he loans against his stock. And the stock, if you're looking especially just the normal stock market, like you're going to see more than 6%. But he doesn't have to get 6%. He has 0. So every time his stock goes up, he's making money. So he takes out 100 million from the bank, lives off of it tax-free, and his net worth goes up.
You just think
no taxes.
Wait, this is hilarious. Wait, you think that millionaires and billionaires are just taking out money and sitting on their ass, jacking off all goddamn day? Or are they going out reinvesting into their community, making businesses and creating jobs?
Yes, they are.
Wait,
you don't just get wealthy. This is why most people...
Mark Zuckerberg.
Look at Mark Zuckerberg. This is why most people are stuck in the predicament that they are.
Brother, I'm not stuck in the predicament.
They don't go out and invest into the community. They don't go out and
Mark Zuckerberg.
They don't invest in business. They don't invest in communities and things like that. But who does? Millionaires and billionaires. Why is that? Because
listen, I know that you love millionaires and billionaires, but I can tell you from experience that the easiest job in the world is investing. You don't have to put in any real time into that. Like once you're invested, you just wait. Mark Zuckerberg, one of the richest people in the world, won like 4 high-level jiu-jitsu competitions this last year. How did he do that if he has so much time? He was spending, you can talk to his gym, he was spending like 6 or 7 hours a day in the gym. Look at Jeff Bezos. He's fucking jacked. Elon Musk has taken time off from running 2 companies to go and retweet a bunch of shit from USA Spending. They have time. They just keep telling you that they work hard so that you think someday that can be you. But the reality is, once you have money, life is really fucking easy, especially when you can take 0% loans to pay for everything.
Do you think Mark Zuckerberg started off with $1 billion?
No, but I'm not talking about him then. I'm talking about him now.
Cool. Did Elon Musk start off with $1 billion? As a matter of fact, let's not even go there.
He had a lot of money.
What's his name?
No, he just started off with rich parents who gave him money to finance his living so he could start a business.
Damn, bro.
RTP's claim was billionaires don't work hard, and he proved his claim, so I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you believe anything that you say. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, could you refute it?
Yes, absolutely.
Explain to me how Mark Zuckerberg won $4... No. I'm not talking
answer
about
my question. Did he start off with $1 million? Because he is worth $1 billion now.
No, because that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
so
about right
every millionaire and billionaire don't start off with $1 million or $1 billion. Some don't even start off with $1,000.
No, what I'm saying is that you think
Mark Cuban, did he start off with $1 billion? Let
me know when you're done.
Did he start off with $1 billion?
No, of course not.
Oh, okay. So your claim that these millionaires and billionaires just sit on their... No, they usually start somewhere in the beginning.
I'm not talking about where they started from.
Wait, John D. Rockefeller. Did John D. Rockefeller grow up rich or poor?
I don't know what his parents' situation was.
Yeah, he grew up poor as fuck.
In
like
1902? What year was that?
He grew up poor as fuck with 3 or 4 different fucking siblings, right? And then he became a billionaire, one of the wealthiest men to ever live in America.
I'm talking about what they do now. I have no problem with people like Mark Zuckerberg or Mark Cuban. I have no problem with the fact that they started a company and got filthy rich. What I have a problem with is all that work that Zuckerberg did before. The rate his wealth is increasing now that he's doing nothing is substantially faster than then. So the problem with our system is you can work hard to get to a point, and when you get to a certain point, it doesn't matter if you work or not. Your worth accelerates, and you can sit back and do nothing, and your net worth accelerates much faster once you have all that money. That's the problem with our system, is that when you get to a certain point with money, you don't really have to work hard anymore, and your net worth explodes, and you can do it off the backs of people who you don't pay a lot of money to. Elon Musk could have transferred all this wealth to the people of Tesla. They could have stock options. They could have higher salaries. Like all of them could be taken care of in a much better way than they are now. And then that would translate into money going from their pockets into their neighborhood grocery stores, into their neighborhood tire centers, and then that gets the money flowing again. That's why I said at the beginning of this, you have to incentivize these rich people. I don't want their taxes. I'm cool with loopholes for rich people if the loophole is you don't have to pay as much in taxes if you pay your employees more.
Correct.
So hold on before anybody goes. Hey, Unicorn, where's she at? Hey, no, I know you've been interrupted plenty of times, so go ahead. What you got to say? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Admir. So my issue is not that billionaires have money. My issue is there's only so many dollars in circulation, and if they have it all, then that leaves none for the middle and lower classes because there's only so much money to go around. We only have so much money, and if they have it all, much like Monopoly, if one person has it all, the other people lose.
Yeah, okay, but do we understand, like, these billionaires, like, that money is not, like, a tangible thing in a bank account, right? Like, a lot of that stuff's invested in other avenues. It's usually, like, stocks and things that other people can purchase, things that other people could use. Like, it's not just, like, his own money in his own bank account that he's just hoarding.
Yeah, but what if he gave that to his employees, and then they could use that if they wanted to use it for leverage to start their own? I agree with you. It's not about taxing them more. It's about distributing wealth in a way that makes sense. And so if that's why, like, Kamala's plan of taxing unrealized gains over like 250 million or 100 million, whatever it was, it made sense because it would take those people with a net worth over 100 million, and the way to avoid the paying capital gains on unrealized gains would be to transfer some of that stock to their employees.
Yeah, and okay, so in theory, yes, I understand. Like, that's how that would play out in theory, right? But you also got to think how the market's going to react to that. So if they know in the future that, hey, my unrealized gains are going to be taxed, would it not then be behoove of them, which a lot of people would probably say it is, to then not actually reinvest that money and actually just hoard it like you guys don't want them to do because they don't want it being taxed?
Well, if they hoard it, then you tax it.
The easiest way to get out of that.
No, if they hoard the money.
But you just said don't tax it, though.
No, you don't. No, I'm saying I don't care if they tax it. I'm saying you say that if they don't give that money to their employees, then they will be taxed. But that's the loophole. If they don't want to pay taxes, they have to pay their employees more.
But even then, though, what you're doing is it's potentially threatening the ability of others to then reinvest or open up businesses or do whatever with their money, and it might throttle the initiative for people to gain that money because they're like, shit, like because it's only on the ultra wealthy. It's not a tax. Like if you let's say you have a business and you're doing 10 million in revenue, whatever. Let's say that your net on that is $1 million. It's not going to affect you, and you still have plenty of money. You got $1 million and whatever it costs to run your household. The rest of that you can invest. It doesn't affect you until your net worth's 100 million or 200 million, whatever it happens to be. So the only people it would affect at all is these mostly multimillionaires or billionaires that own businesses. Yeah, and me personally, I don't believe it's the government's job to interfere with how much somebody makes, and if you make a certain amount, we're just going to tax the shit out of you through different avenues in order to do whatever they deem necessary with that money that they tax, which clearly we're seeing for the past decade.
Well, but that
It's
is the
not being
role of government.
spent anyway,
No,
though. But
it's
it's not even
not.
being well spent, though. It's not even being well spent. Even if that is the role to an extent, right? Like I get it. Like income tax, right? Like that's a part of the government, and they use that tax. They're supposed to use it anyways for the betterment of a society. But again, we're seeing this not only just now. I'm talking like predating this, like for decades now. Like mismanagement of money in the government has been horrendous. And we can't even argue that. Like it's been absolutely shit. Because if it wasn't, the amount of money that we take in through taxes, just like you were saying earlier, RTP, we could fund so many things. We could have funded universal healthcare. We could have funded like a UBI if you even wanted one. We could have funded all these things decades ago if they were actually managing the money properly. But we could have had a better infrastructure. We could have had better investments. We could have done so many things with this country if the government was actually doing the job. But they're not.
But listen.
So
that's
why
the
give
thing.
them more
like,
money?
Well, because that's, I guess if you understand, like I used to work for the GOP. I worked with Heritage Foundation. Their end goal is to privatize most things. That's the goal of Heritage Foundation. That's the goal of most of these billionaires. They would like the government to do as little as possible, and they want to privatize as much stuff as possible. And the only way you get the American people to go along with that is to underfund all of these programs so that they don't work. But the reality is, like, the money that circulates, it's the money that you get, it's not yours. The money I get, it's not mine. It's the country's. That's why it has the United States of America on it. And the reason that we created a currency is that so when I come to your store, I don't have to trade you carrots for your rolls. I can just give you money and the currency exchanges, so it makes it easier, so we don't have to barter everything. Think of it if you got into like a wind tunnel. You've seen those like cash wind tunnels where it like blows the cash up, you try and grab as much as you can? That if the cash is meant to circulate, if the cash only goes straight up and sticks to the ceiling where you can't reach it, you can only get what you can get on its way up, and then it accumulates at the top, and eventually all the money is going to be at the top. And you either have to turn off the power and let all of that money fall back down, or you have to put more money in. And that's essentially how our economy works. Every bit of money that goes in, we had two massive bailouts during the Biden administration, and the accumulation of wealth went straight to the top. And that was a really pure indicator of, something's broken here. It all goes to the top. That's why you see corporations going out and buying up all the houses. And we're in a real scenario right now where the rich people are more powerful than almost everybody in the government. You can see that by watching Congress give Elon Musk all of their responsibilities. They're supposed to audit, they're supposed to control the purse, and they're like, nah, corporation rich and powerful. We're at a place now where being rich, it gives you more power and authority than being in government. And for poor people, and for those of us in the middle class, that kind of sucks. Because the one thing I know about billionaires, is they want to be trillionaires.
Exactly. And the problem with there's no, I think a lot of people don't have an issue with audits and looking into spending. But when you have Elon Musk that actually currently have multiple contracts with the government, he could easily phase out a competitor saying, oh, let's end their contract, and then he gets to work. It's a conflict of interest. It's
Cox.
I also want to swing back to what RTP said about privatizing everything. We see, that is a main goal of Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation. Also, we see Trump moving to privatize things such as like national parks. They want to privatize national parks. Or like we underfund the FAA, and then we have all these issues, and then soon enough they'll be calling for the FAA to be privatized. They create the problem, and then they say we have the solution. Just privatize it, give it all to us, the billionaires, and everything will work fine. And then but these are, if you would have just funded it to begin with, we wouldn't have any issues.
No, they create these problems.
And then but these are, if you would have just funded it to begin with, we wouldn't have any issues.
No, they create these problems and then just call it fucking DEI. Blame it on that. That's all they do.
Yes, run. I said run. Just make sure everybody understood that. The last time we were on, I tried to get on stage. I don't want to be up here. Flash is going to be up here. And then he threw it.
Well, that was just mostly because of the lies that you spread about me and things you said about
Nobody
my family.
spreads lies
All
about
right,
you.
let's play nice. All right, let's play nice.
Well, look. If you're gonna, if you want to talk politics, we can do that.
Yeah.
But the second you get lost, you're
Yeah,
gonna attack my family again.
nobody's gonna
Second
attack
I
nobody's
get
family
lost.
because I will drop the whole fucking panel.
Well, let's
Nobody's
go
gonna
one on
attack
one.
nobody.
Let's get lost. You're
Yeah,
gonna attack
nobody.
my family again.
Nobody's gonna attack
Second I
nobody's
get
family
lost.
because I will drop the whole fucking panel.
Well, let's
Nobody's
go
gonna
one on
attack
one. Let's
nobody.
go 1v1 then. Flash, you want to do that? Let's see how it
Nope.
goes.
I'm here to play on the panel with you today.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, because
Oh,
God knows if we want a 1v1, we'll have to set up a whole thing for it.
no, you
We'll do it
won't.
right now.
You do it right now. I'll
Admir will
drop
take
to
care of it.
everybody. I'll
No,
drop everybody.
I'm not even
Here.
remotely ready for that
Now
yet.
who's running? Now who's running?
Whoa, whoa, I'm
Now
not
who's
running.
running?
I'm happy. I'm happy to debate you. Sorry.
Then let's do it.
I'm just
Then
not
let's
in the
do
mood
it.
today. Sorry.
Not in the
Oh,
mood.
you're
I'm here
up
to play. I'll play on the panel, but that's what I'm here to do today.
That was embarrassing, bro.
It's not embarrassing.
That's
It's
a
just where I'm at
tough
today.
look.
Sorry.
If I come up, RTP will run. Let's debate. No, I don't wanna.
I mean, we are.
Yeah, I'm not gonna 1v1 you today. I'm not at a computer
you
like
never
you
have.
are. I can't
You
go
never
Google
have.
my facts today. So sorry. I'm gonna sit here and play on the panel, talk about what you're talking about, and if you have a 1v1, we'll do it in a setting where you can't be a little bitch.
All right.
Right now, right now where I have no power.
Yeah. Yeah, where you
So
have
why
no
don't you do it
power
right now
and you'll
then?
throw a fit and you'll run off and
Well,
cry.
listen. Hey,
Well, let's
listen. Let
do
me
it
just
then.
make the whole. Hold on, Jay. Let me just be perfectly clear. Just because Jay and I are friends and all that, doesn't mean that I'm gonna pick his side. If he's wrong, I'll call
You about being
won't.
scared of you. I have never
certainly
ever
not.
I have never ever sat on a panel where you wanted to come up and I was like, oh well, I'm not gonna be here if Flash is gonna be here. I'm not gonna be here if RTP is gonna be here. I will leave right now. I'll take one to come up. And I was like, oh well, I'm not gonna be here if Flash is gonna be here. I'm not gonna be here if RTP is gonna be here. I will leave right now. I will leave right now. I will take my ball and go home. I've never done that. If you want to have a good 1v1 debate, I'm happy to set that up with you when I'm not sick, when I'm not feeling like shit, and we can have a 1v1.
Oh, he's
I don't
got
care.
a cold, guys. He's got a cold.
Yeah, I have a cold, so sorry.
Well, listen, guys, that's fair, but maybe the next time you come
You don't want to talk about anything. Okay.
Everybody
So anyways,
knows about
Democrat it is, bro. What are you talking about, Flash?
Okay,
Now
go ahead.
I'm gonna do. I was
Short
never
memories.
a Democrat. I was never a Democrat.
Yeah.
He's a
Never.
dumb
Pretty long.
bitch. He's a
Because
dumb
actually,
bitch.
I was actually in Hot
Conservative
Boss's
Flash
live, and
is the
when Admir would
dumbest
come in, he
bitch.
was actually taught the conservative line. He would be in his live, but he actually brought the conservative point of view. He was not a Democrat.
He's a dumb bitch.
Okay.
I mean, okay. So let's have this. Okay. So let's move on.
Speaking of dumb bitches, how's your wife?
All right. You know what?
What?
Hold
He
on,
can say
Victor,
I'm a
hold
dumb
on.
bitch. I can go back at him.
You know what? I should have done this from the beginning.
Okay.
Now you can go fucking have a good fucking life with your little bitch ass. Have a good day, man.
Yeah, homie.
Nah, fuck that. And nobody, hey, from the moderators, do not fucking unblock him. And nobody, hey, from the moderators, do not fucking unblock him.
What up, dog?
Yeah, you know who this is? We hit the drama hour.
Post
All right, anyways. Hey, please, moderators, don't accept people up here, man. This is.
Admir, you need to actually block that one because that one was actually terrorizing people in the comments. A woman.
Who is that?
They're known for actually stalking, and you need to actually block them from your live.
I already did, man. I'm not gonna play these fucking games, man.
I mean, I don't know what he was going to say.
Yes, I agree with Rowdy. I know who that was.
I don't know what he was
right.
going to say.
He's
to
right.
me.
So,
Wait, that's
so
Real Housewives of Atlanta.
yeah. So, fucking JG. Hey, JG. I would. I mean, I know. I know. I've heard you debate, and I know RTP. I mean, are you guys interested? I would really want to hear you guys go at it. And if you guys want to do it,
about. I saw my boy
just
Cal over
anything,
here and
you know?
decided to hop in.
Yeah, I mean, I would, because I don't know if you've ever dealt with an RTP.
No, I've never even seen him. I never seen me. I've
Jesse.
never seen him.
How do y'all feel about unions? Just RTP and JG.
Yeah,
I'm pro-union.
I'm against unions.
Okay, that sounds like a good topic then.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Moderate.
Shit! Here we go.
Moderate.
So
why would you be against unions, JG?
No.
Against individuals throwing a hissy fit about something they have a contractual agreement on and acting as if they did not know. If they feel as if they were unpaid beforehand, why not say something from the get-go?
How are they crybabies?
Well, I don't know when I utilize that term, but you can say that for sure. Because if they feel as if they're not paid as a group, they then decide to protest against the pay in which they agreed upon.
What's wrong with that?
They negotiate their pay, so
yeah, I mean, I think
it's
throwing a
called
hissy fit.
bargaining.
Yeah, I think throwing a hissy fit over the betterment of our country, especially when it comes to advancing ourselves within technology, I think that's just
How are you supposed to
dumbassery is what I'd
advance
call
your
it.
how are you supposed to advance yourself if your boss doesn't allow you to advance yourself?
Because
That's what the
sometimes
union
advancement
rep
within our
does.
country has to go with technology. So if we're able to advance ourselves and it takes away a few jobs, so be it.
Anytime.
Okay, so for an example, we have the local 513. They are the collective bargaining for veterans when it comes to the VA. What Trump is trying to do is trying to change GS jobs to oh gosh, what is that called? It's something F. Basically, they won't be protected anymore, and they could get possibly fired for their political reasonings because they don't back MAGA or a Democrat that's in office. So you think that would be okay
Well, I
for
think it would be okay
employers to do that?
Yeah, for somebody to speak upon politics within the workforce. I don't think it's something that should be brought up.
Right, but it's scheduled F, basically. That's what it's called. So
Yeah,
you're
I mean, I
saying
don't
that
think
the
politics should be
employer is
brought
allowed
up.
to do that.
I don't think that somebody should have a decision made upon their political views, nor should anybody know anybody else's.
But the unions try to protect that. The unions are trying to protect the
Unions, we also
GS.
have the teachers union. How do you feel about that?
The teachers union, I think,
Natalie.
I think it's great.
Yeah, you think it's great that teachers can protest against their students and not teach them, and we know we have an education
For
problem in our
sure.
country.
I for sure believe in that.
I
I
see we're
believe that
prioritizing
there's
the right
bad
things,
use.
so let's
I believe that
prioritize
there's
education for the youth, not
okay. So
teachers
if you're going to let
complaining
me
about
answer,
pay.
let me answer. If you're going to
It wasn't
interrupt
even
me,
supposed to be with you. I don't even know who you are.
so I think teachers
You
unions
decided to take the
benefit. I think
convo.
it's beneficial to teachers that are in those lines of duty because sometimes students don't know how to act and parents don't know how to sit there and treat their kids to get into the school, and then they act the ruck. Teachers have to
Yeah,
put up
man.
with a lot of bullshit with underpay, and now they're definitely about to be underpaid because it's going to be left up to the states because the Department of Education is going to be dismantled.
Yeah, amen. So you're telling me that the solution to children acting bad within the schooling system is teachers don't go to school and teach children
No,
how to make
so
sense?
teachers can get unions, and then they can get better pay to deal with your
Yeah,
bullshit.
so let's
Wait,
protest
I
and
have
revolt
I have a
against the
question.
students and not show
Go
up
Can I
ahead,
ask a
to
RTP.
question
work.
real quick? Yeah. Are you saying that the reason they're dismantling the Department of Education is because students act bad?
Who are you talking to?
Oh, you. Sorry, JG. Sorry.
I never even made that claim at all. I don't know where you got that
You
from.
just said if students are acting bad.
Because he stated that. He said that teachers need to be paid more
Yeah.
because students act bad within the classroom.
Okay, so
I never made that claim.
Okay, my bad. So, but getting rid of the Department of Education will fix that?
I never made that claim either. That was him that brought it up.
Okay, what would fix that, do you think?
What would fix that?
Yeah.
Parents start taking accountability for not teaching their kids how to behave.
So then why get rid of the Department of Education?
Recognizing the nuclear family, incentivizing people to have a two-parent
Wait,
household instead of having a one-parent household.
Wait, so then why get rid of
incentivize
the
a
Department?
two-parent.
So why get rid of the Department of Education then?
Because the utilization of the Department of Education, which is a 10-wing sector with 4,400 employees, which wastes $68.7 billion in pure profit and accounts for about $236 billion total.
Where's
I
the
don't think
waste?
that's 60.
What's the waste
I don't-
you're talking about?
The $68.7 billion
Yeah, but why
is
is that-
utilized for funding the federal Department of Education. Those funds could be put into the classrooms in order
But why
to
is that?
advance those
Why do you call it
classrooms.
waste?
Why do I call it waste? Because right
Yeah.
now we're paying for something in which we know to be bad.
What are we
Right
paying
now,
for?
we have the federal Department of Education, and you guys are complaining about it.
Wait, what are
But
we
if you
paying
invest
for?
that $68.7 billion and
excuse
put
me,
it back
excuse
into
me.
the students and
I'm
the
trying to have a
teachers, there's a
conversation with you,
solution.
if
So
wouldn't
you're
mind.
monologuing and not
wasn't a
answering
monologue.
the
No,
question.
hold
you
on,
the
no,
answer.
stop, Jesse.
Hold on,
No,
one
hold
at
on,
a
Admir.
time.
Can I say something real quick? No, Jesse, stop. Because they did that same exact shit up here when I was schooling RTP on economics, and nobody cut RTP off once. It was nothing but straight silence. Every time I come off of mute, no, you see what I'm
I would
saying?
have
Look,
definitely
right
would have
now.
done the same thing
Every
for
time I come off,
RTP.
every time we come off of mute,
Not a
you know what I'm saying? Y'all completely keep talking, and it completely
Wait,
derails the
RTP will be
conversation.
the first to admit you that I would cut RTP off and be like, hey, you're monologuing. Like
Then don't ask me for a solution. I give you one, and then you complain
Well,
that it's
but
taking too long.
you're
If 5
Wait,
minutes
can we
of
go
your
back
time,
though? Can we go back
if
to keep
5
the
minutes of your
conversation
time
going?
is taking too long to help a problem that's in our country, then that's
JG,
on
what's
you.
the when you say the 68 billion is waste?
Yeah,
why?
that's on pure profit. So that's the amount of
mean
money that's
profit?
utilized in order to fund it. So that money right there is how
Wait,
much
what do
it
you mean by
costs to pay
profit?
those federal employees that are in the federal Department of
JG,
Education.
what do you mean by profit? How is
So,
the Department
so
of
the
Education making profit?
$68.7 billion. So when I say pure profit, that means going directly into the system itself, funding
not
employees,
so
federal
funding,
employees,
not
things of that
profit.
nature. It's not utilized in manner giving back to the children.
What's it used for?
To pay off the 4,400 federal employees, electricity costs for the
What do they do?
building. Nothing. Absolutely
They just
nothing
do
because you're
nothing. They're just
complaining about
sitting
the
around
issue.
doing nothing.
What they do, if you want to be very technical.
So I can look at like different states that I've lived in, and I like, for example, I live in Arizona, where we are the state that is doing school choice. Teachers are being laid off right and left because doing school choice exploded our budget in Arizona. It cost us about 4 times more than we thought it was going to, because what we learned is that the only people that we're giving money to for school choice are people who were already paying to put their kids in private school, and so that money is being taken from the districts that they live in, and public schools now are being severely underfunded. So our test scores dropped, our funding dropped, and now we're having to cut other programs all throughout the state because we gave these tax incentives for people to go to private school. And again, it was mostly used for people who already go to private school.
Absolutely,
I mean, it's
because
cheaper to
it
send
doesn't cover the
a
full
kid to
cost.
private school
It
than
doesn't
public.
cover the full cost of the tuition.
So is that I'm pointing to like real waste. You're just saying that these employees do nothing, which is obviously silly because they obviously do something. They're not doing
You know what
nothing.
they do?
But well, I asked what they did, and you said nothing.
What's his
You
understanding of
decided
what the
to talk
Department of
after he said what they
Education
do.
does?
Yeah,
Like,
so what they do, their main priority is to provide accessibility, but what they do is they go to the state level Department of Education in order to have statistics on each county that they have and utilize their statistics to make sure that accessibility is for all students.
And
so
then
it's not any
what
data
does
that
that
they
mean
get
then?
on their own. They go to
So what
each
do they
state
do?
Department of Education. It's already data that's been processed to the state level Department of Education that they claim to be through the federal department.
So you
We know
think
that's
that?
not true.
So you're saying that the Department of Education, all they do is get data?
Well, there's 51 Department of Educations, one of them being the federal Department of Education, but they utilize
I'm talking about
the
the federal
Department of
one.
Education.
Yeah, I'm talking about the federal one.
They utilize the data that the state Department of Education gives them.
And that's all they do.
That's all they do?
To make sure that accessibility is for all students and
Listen,
all people
brother,
within our country.
brother, I heard that. I'm asking if that's all they do.
Well, if you're going to talk about Pell Grants, things to that nature, which was 7 years prior to the federal Department of Education being instituted within our country, I wouldn't claim that to be the case.
I'm certainly not saying that.
Because we had those grants beforehand.
I'm asking if that's because you said that's all they do. Are you saying legitimately you think that's all anybody at the Department of Education does?
Well, I mean, they have one standardized test, maybe two actually, that's nationwide that the states must appease scores to, but that's about it, yeah.
So these people at the Department of Education, they show up every day. They go to whatever state they're working with, and they say, give us the data. And we spend, you're saying, $68 billion on that.
Well, that's to provide wages for the employees because it's a 10-winged, 4,400 employed.
I understand that, but you're saying that's all they do, is they just ask for data?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And okay, cool. It's going to be hard to have a debate when you don't know, when like we're saying that's all they do.
Well, what do you think that they do then?
So they not only they direct funding, they audit, they follow up on funding, they make sure that funding is getting to the right places because that data can shift consistently, right? You can have an area that 10 years ago you were seeing, let's say it's funded by property taxes, the property values drop in that area, and now your schools are underfunded. So their job is to basically oversee the states to make sure that the states are providing funding in the right places. And what we do know is that red states specifically almost always steal from the Department of Education. They almost always take that money and try and reallocate it someplace else. And so the Department of Education has been like the buffer between rich people being the only educated people in this country and poor people getting an education.
Aren't you claiming that states are stealing the money that is utilized from the federal Department of Education right now?
What's that?
Aren't you claiming that states are stealing the money that is appropriated by the federal Department of Education right now?
No.
You just claimed that to be. You said red states are the ones that utilize that money in different manners than the federal Department of Education provides.
They take from that funding, but I thought you were talking about what I said in Arizona, which would have been from
is really
property
doing
taxes.
their due diligence in order to make sure that the states are appropriating the funds correctly.
They
that
are.
Makes sense. Is really doing their due diligence in order to make sure that the states are appropriating
money collected by property.
That makes sense.
They are.
Well, then how is
and so the
but you said
money
that they appropriate more funds when property taxes are cut.
What?
You said that they appropriate more funding to states in which the property taxes are cut.
No, I said they audit the states.
Yeah, so you're telling me that they give more funding when property taxes are cut?
Not necessarily.
So then what was the purpose of bringing up the state cutting their property taxes?
If this, I didn't say cutting property taxes. I said property values. So if you have property taxes,
property values,
property
going
taxes,
down would
if you
cut property taxes.
just let me finish the answer, would you? That'd be great. Thank you.
That is fact.
When
so you should know that.
Values
property
going
taxes
down would
if you
cut property taxes.
just let me finish the answer, would you? That'd be great. Thank you.
That is fact.
When
so you should know that.
What I said is that let's say somebody's property values drop in a certain area, that would leave that school underfunded. So part of what the Department of Education is doing along with the states is they're making sure that those places, the poorest places among us, which get virtually no representation, are to. You don't think? Wait, excuse me. What you think that
Yeah,
poor
that's
places are
incorrect.
they're
No,
more
the
represented?
Federal Department of Education does not handle that at the state level. Department of Education.
I didn't say they handle it at the state
So
level.
then,
I
what
said
was
they
the
do
purpose of
audits.
talking about the Federal Department of Education and talking about audits between schools within counties in which properties are
We're not
dropping
talking
in
about
value?
Stop
schools.
interrupting and let him finish his
Because
answer.
there's no relevance to your argument. That's the state level Department of Education.
That's what
they
I said,
adhere.
bud.
Again,
That's
so
what
the
I said,
state
bud.
level Department of Education is different than the Federal Department of Education.
Yeah, I'm very aware of that.
So then, what is your relevance of bringing that up?
Do you believe education?
One of the
in
problems
America
that we
is
have
good?
here is that you keep
No, I
interrupting.
think education in America is something you lack, Stephanie.
Wait, brother, can we stay? Can we stay?
Okay, hold on. Let's. Yeah.
I agree.
Your claim was
JG, you
just
did.
to go back. Your claim was that literally all they do is look at data that's presented to them, and that's it.
Well, that's all you've presented to me as well.
Well, do you have anything to back that claim up?
Do I have anything to back that claim up? We'll look
Yes.
up the purpose of the Federal Department of Education, and it proves me right.
It does.
No,
Okay,
there's
so
multiple
Department of
sources.
Education. When I look up, what do they do? What do you want me to look? What does the Department of Education do?
Look up the sole purpose that they have.
What is the sole purpose?
Yeah, there's a few different things that they have, but they tell you exactly
How
what
could it be the sole purpose?
No,
Well,
but
because
that's not what you
their
said,
main,
JG.
yeah, their main
What you
priority
said
is to
the only
provide
thing that the
accessibility
Department
to
of
students
Education
within the
does
nation to
is
make sure that
audit
they're
the
able to have their
states.
right
Well,
of education.
Their website doesn't say that. There says the mission of the Department of Education is to promote student achievement and preparation for global competitiveness by fostering educational excellence and ensuring equal access to students of all ages.
Right there.
Yeah, that's one part. Why are you only talking about
if that's
that?
the only part that they have listed to what their mission is.
That's not what he said. What he said was that's the only thing that the Department of Education does. He didn't say that was the main driving purpose of the Department of Education.
Well, what do you want to talk about? How they go to the state level Department of Education in order to provide?
It's a multifaceted department. They do all kinds of stuff. Like RTP
Go
brought up, and
I have a
make sure
simple
that they
question.
adhere to the Child Disabilities Act, making sure that all schools adhere to children with disabilities and fund it appropriately. That's that would be the main driving
when you're
force behind
talking
it.
about
That's the reason.
distributions
Excuse me.
of
No, we're
funding,
not
do you
going to
know how
talk
that
over you.
works?
Brother, do you know, brother? Stop
You've
talking in the
stopped
middle of a
interrupting.
sentence.
Well, I'm
Can we
debating
do this?
4 people
JG,
at the same
No,
I
time.
know,
you're
but JG,
not.
the problem we have here is literally every time someone starts talking, you go, well, I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
Well, because
I swear-
it'll be you
There you
talking,
go
then
again.
Taco talking, then Stephanie
No, just
talking,
talk-
and
well,
then
then-
me. Like it's round and round.
You've talked
If
more than
somebody
anybody,
wants to
but
talk-
let's have, okay, you and I will have a conversation
didn't.
then. How about that? You and I can have a conversation.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Steph, go ahead and finish your question, but I really want RTP and JG to go at it.
So
Please.
this question could be for the both of them. I mean, do you believe, it's a simple question really, is education in America good, yes or no? And if
Well,
you answer no,
Yeah, I think education in this
See,
country is
dude,
good,
you've
yes.
got to let her finish.
you believe
dude.
it's good?
She asked the question.
No,
My
she
answer wasn't
didn't.
No. Yeah,
She
Taco,
didn't
there was
ask
no
the
relevance. My
question.
answer
Hold
was
on,
yes.
hold
If
on.
it's
I
no,
got it. So just to clarify, you said it's good.
Yeah, education in our country is good.
Okay, make sure that you can back that up with the metrics. If you're gonna assume that it's education is good, I mean, I think the stats will tell us different in terms of where we rank with literacy rates,
Well, maybe for you
standardized
it's not
testing,
good.
etc. But my question becomes, what is education going to look like in the future if it's all relegated to the states when we already have an issue at hand?
Well, amen. Yeah. So this is the problem here. Somebody that would presume to be intelligent like yourself just asked me, is education good? Yes, education is good. I believe that everybody should become educated. Now, the question I think you were trying to ask me is the educational system within our country good? Two different things, but education for sure is good. I want everybody to be educated.
For you, Chat GPT, to answer, just answer.
Okay, all right. So hold on. So this is what I'm gonna do. Hold on. So this is what I'm gonna do. Jay, are you're willing to debate JG, right?
Sure.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna leave Mr. up here because I deal with him all the time and I trust him fully. I'm gonna leave Mr. up here because I deal with him all the time and I trust him fully. I'm gonna drop everybody else.
No, you don't have to
I
do it.
love
You
you.
don't have to do it yet because I'm gonna be heading with my son real quick. I'll be
Okay.
like 15 minutes and I can come back up and debate. But I'm just being honest
That's
here.
fine. No.
One has a Department of Education, and they make sure that the people, no matter their economic circumstance, people, no matter their And what we've done at that state, like during that 30 years, we've seen nothing but Republicans attacking and trying to tear down the Department of Education. Now, I know the Republican goal is to have in their education, and they are passing us up. Why would we say let's cut funding at a time when we are sliding down the list while we've been cutting funding?
Well, because as we know, within our country, private school systems are better than our public school systems, and it costs less per pupil than it does in a public school.
I just don't understand. I guess
$1,600
this is where I got confused and I
Private
got
schools get to
sidestepped
choose
earlier, and
their
I'll go back on
students,
mute.
and they
All right,
choose
amen.
it based on test
Amen.
scores.
I'll go back
weren't
on
you the ones
mute.
that were complaining to me that people were over talking and I had two
I said I'll
individuals
go
at the
back
same
on
This
time?
is
quick run.
exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'll go
just
back
let
on
them
mute.
talk.
But my question
Yeah,
is,
just let them talk.
if
Yes,
states
why is she
already
talking? And
control
she's still
education at
talking.
90
And
to
she's still
95,
talking. And she's still
Hold on,
talking.
Steph. Steph, can JG please answer RTP?
he did.
No, he didn't.
What?
Stop talking.
Yo, hey, Admir, are you there?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
just
not. This account isn't modded, but Gray Pooler's f-ball.
grateful.
He's
That motherfucker who's Chelsea, block his
Want him out
ass.
of here?
Somebody, block his ass.
Gray Pooler.
Fuck him.
He's gone.
Yeah, fuck him.
Go ahead, JJ.
Yeah, go ahead, JJ.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. Thank you. JJ, go ahead, man.
He said be right back because he has to chat
Oh, okay.
GPT.
Yeah, because
my question is this, I guess, for anybody, Kyle can answer. I mean, if states control 90 to 95% of education as it is, and we're ranked 25th in the world, not even the top 10 by virtually any metric. If the states can't do it at 95, how do you expect them to do it at 100? Please answer.
Thanks, Jen. I think the difference between our country comparably to other countries besides like China and India, though, is we have 350 million people, and that's probably around 80 million to 100 million children that are in the school systems. So like we have a bigger chance of being ranked lower if we did state by state comparison. I mean, we fund like even look at California and Illinois respectively, who fund their pupils, I think, 8,000 to 12,000 per pupil, and they're still scoring mid-range in student ranking. So I would look at the schools that were doing success, or states that are doing successful, like Massachusetts, Connecticut, and all of them, seeing what they're doing and maybe follow suit with them. But JG, you said something about like private schools, they're better schools. Well, that's because they get to pick and choose who goes in their schools. I mean, if you want to do public schools, we could do public charter schools versus private schools, and public charter schools usually, score comparably against them. So, I mean, that's not a fair comparison when you're doing that.
I think he just stepped out.
Yeah, I think he's got to take care of it. That's all good.
Real quick, Jess, what's up, bro?
Oh, what's up, OG? I've been waiting to say hi to you, by the way. I'm sorry.
Hey, hold up. You made us a promise that you was going to flip Florida, and you lied, bro.
Listen.
I need some push-ups out the deal. I need something out the deal, bro. And RTP,
I'm telling
I
you.
apologize for the time that I came up on your panel, extremely inebriated. I apologize. It was twice in one day. I do remember it was twice in one day, and I apologize. You were
all good, brother.
You're like, I don't think you're supposed to be here right now. And you might be right.
We just couldn't figure out what the fuck you were saying. That was all.
I couldn't figure out what the hell I was trying to say. Anyway, I'm just trying to kill time.
You're good.
If y'all in the comments can't get this cat up to 35 right quick.
Oh man, I don't. No, man, I don't give a shit about that, bro. I'm here to have this conversation. This has been a good conversation. Otherwise, then
earlier
bitch ass Flash.
Earlier you said you were in the clouds. So does that mean you're not driving anymore, or did you have surgery or something? That's why you were high.
Well, I mean, I'll just show you. So I have, it's I don't know if you ever tried these, but let me tell you something. You take one of these And you, man,
And did I ever tell you about the time I took 200 milligrams of gummies in one night? When I tell you, I drooled so much that it looked like I went to the gym, dude. I had so much drool. I was holding up a wall, trying to sit there and say, "This wall's about to fall," as it's connected to a house, dude. It was so bad.
I know Jay-Z's doing with this stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out, you know what I mean? I don't understand why we can't just say, and I'm specifically talking to the people on the right. Why can't we just say, when Trump says something stupid, the motherfucker says something stupid. Why is it that we're always defending him? I can't figure that out. And if I think he said something stupid, I'm gonna call it out, and that's just me.
It started with
Gee,
Sean Spicer and Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne is the one that said alternative facts.
OG, you were upset with me because I didn't flip Florida blue, but I will tell you, there's a lot of people here that are
Bro,
upset,
can you handle April
especially
1st?
after those EOs that came out, and the veterans are
handle April
really
1st?
fucking pissed.
Can you handle your special elections then? Because you got 2 of them coming up April 1st.
Shoot, we're about to. I think DeSantis is just crazy
that
down
fucks
here.
with the House. It really fucks with the House. And I'm an asshole in the middle. I don't like any of this two-party bullshit. I am offended, extremely offended, that our government doesn't work for us. We've bastardized the shit out of the Constitution. It's a beautiful document. We just don't take our part seriously. So what the fuck is going on?
Yo, RTP, let me ask you a question.
Hey, good to see you, by the way. You can say hi once in a while.
Sorry, I should.
I mean, I did end all your friendships in one night once. So that's
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Yes, you did.
I feel
Yes,
horrible
you did.
about that, but I still
Yes,
think you did a
you
great
did.
job.
RTP, you did me a favor. I'm gonna tell you, like, if my friendships could have been ended over something like that, they weren't my friends, dude. And I'm glad I gained a friend from you, your friendship too, out of it. So
yeah, it's agreed.
So I told Jen this. I was talking to her about this. I think I'm really going to deep dive down because the anchor babies in the 14th Amendment. Do you know of any case law besides Wong where in federal courts where it was upheld by the 14th Amendment, even when their parents were illegal? Because Wong's parents were legal status here, but they weren't citizens. But the case, they argued that it was under the jurisdiction thereof. It wasn't about his parents. It was about what the jurisdiction that he fell under. So, what do you think?
There was a couple. I can't remember. There was like I tried to look into this. There was something like some irrigation district versus someone. Look, I think that there's I honestly think that there's validity in the claim that the right makes that like just blanket birthright citizenship. Maybe we need to revisit it, and you know it's pretty obtuse the way that it's written, and maybe it should be clarified. Some would say that the Supreme Court clarifies that, but this Supreme Court doesn't care about precedent. The main issue I have is that for some reason Republicans just think that through executive order you can bypass an amendment, and my real fear here is not that like Trump won, and he does have a bit of a mandate because he outperformed the Republicans when he won. Like I live in Arizona that he won, but all the Democrats beat the Republicans, like for Senate, for governor. So he does kind of have that, but I just don't, you know, like I knew that it was going to be a rough 4 years because a lot of things that I didn't want to happen were going to happen because they have power. I just don't get why we're saying no more Constitution. Like the president just gets to bypass the Constitution.
So Blossom, aka McParty's, telling me to tell you to shut your face.